mix it up today.
Yeah, I appreciate it. If you
Yeah.
would. Yeah, change it up a little bit.
Yeah.
How the day-to-day of the South Carolina situation, I'm sure you're expecting this, but the quarterback, do you just prepare for both guys? Have you focused in on one? How do you kind of handle maybe the uncertainty there?
Yeah, Ronnie, I appreciate you going first, change things up, and you know, a little superstitious at times, and I think you're catching on to that, so appreciate you switching up. But yeah, I think every week you always prepare for any possible situations, and that's whether you play in South Carolina or whoever your opponent may be. You're going to prepare for all quarterbacks on the roster, wildcat quarterbacks, you know, reverse pass guys, and talk about all the situations. And they got very capable quarterbacks of winning ball games in their roster. Luke Doty, Zeb Nolan. You know, I've known Zeb for a long time since he was a kid. When I coached high school ball in the mountains, his dad was a high school coach, and Zeb was running around the field. So I've known him since, you know, the early 2000s there, I guess. He was just a toddler, and watched his career for a long time. So know about Zeb and preparing for him, preparing for Luke. And then also to carry on is a really good quarterback. He's won an SEC games, a starting quarterback in that conference, and does a good job and a really good player. And, you know, when I was in the Charleston area, he was at Fort Dorchester, and he was probably the best player in the state at the time, and was a really good high school quarterback. So we got our hands full, regardless of who it is. You know, I think offensive scheme, they'll be somewhat similar, but each one has their own personality, just as our offense would be if we had a different quarterback in the ball game. So, you know, all of them are very good players. Got work cut out, and got to do a good job with all of them. Whoever appears, even if it was, you know, the freshman from Georgia or the transfer from St. Francis, both those guys are really good players too.
Their running game is nothing to sneeze at. They look like they looked pretty good last week. Of course, you know, it's hard to tell, but without giving away the plan, what's overall in general plan to try to stop that running game?
Yeah, the running game is really, really good. I mean, Kevin Harris didn't play last week. We all know that, but he led the SEC in rushing last year. Last time we checked, that's a pretty good league. That's pretty good, you know, defenders in that league that pride themselves on stopping the run, and he had about 1,100 yards last year on him. So that's definitely got work cut out there. The freshman, number 1, really talented player, very, very gifted. Number 11, the senior, very gifted. You know, both those guys. 21 is another freshman who's a true freshman there, does a really good job. So a big lineman up front. You know, we're going to have to come downhill and do a great job tackling. And that's something that we got to continue to focus on every day, get better at every day, and getting downhill, triggering. And I think last week we were playing just, you know, a little bit lateral, and we got to get downhill, play fast, and don't second guess ourselves. And that's where we got to go and know exactly what's, you know, to be expected there. And if we make a mistake going downhill 100 miles an hour, we make a mistake. If we go take a shot, take a shot. But at least hopefully we can make the running back stop his feet and give our teammates time to get there. So that's been our big focus this week. You know, I obviously have all the respect for their run game, and Coach Atkins, the job he does up front, and Coach Satterfield, the job he does that offense. But you got some gifted tailbacks back there that probably play on Sundays, and we got to do a good job getting 11 hats to the ball and doing a good job of just, you know, pulling the trigger and getting downhill.
You guys are playing some new people on the edge with X and Jeremy. How do you think they did in kind of their first real action?
You know, I think for them it's hey, it's first ball game at a new position, and sometimes it can come at you a little bit faster than it does in practice. You know, and to them it was a little bit, hey, catch them on the heels a little bit, and I think they showed some flashes. They got a chance to be really special out there, both of them. I think they can be difference makers, and you see flashes of that. And we just got to get them going, get them rolling a little bit, and I think they're going to be fine. And the big thing for both of those guys is they can be really special in the pass rush game. Well, we got to help ourselves out and get them to 3rd and long. I think we did that, you know, once last week, twice maybe, and let them off the hook there. But if we can get them in 3rd and long, then those guys can really be difference makers. But if we're playing, you know, 1st and 10, 2nd and 5, 3rd and short, you know, it's hard for those guys to show up because they're just trying to maintain their gaps at that point. But if we can get them in 3rd and long situations, and, you know, we have a chance to kind of specialize those guys and let them be creative and let them use their athleticism. And at the same time, offenses don't want to be in 3rd and long. They're you know, whether it's App State, whether it's South Carolina, you know, they're very, very methodic about, hey, moving the sticks, make sure they keep the quarterbacks out of trouble, don't put them in bad situations, throwing the quick game, taking the easy throws out wide, running the ball, you know, get 3 or 4 yards on it and put them in short yardage situations. So we got to do a better job at, you know, stuffing it up in there, create negative plays and put them in 3rd and long, so we can see Jeremy Lewis and Xavier Smith and those type of guys, Rick come off the edge and try to do something back there with the quarterback.
Coach, kind of along the same lines, but on the back end of the defense, how would you grade out DJ Ford's first week? And do you expect him to play this week?
Yeah, DJ, for him too, I think it's a first game for him in 2 years. Hadn't played since 2019, so getting back out there and getting back in the stadium, and so, part of that too for all of our guys is being, the first time in a crowd, and so that was new. But DJ did some good things. I don't think you've seen DJ's best ball. It's still ahead of him, and he's still got to bring that out this week and bring it into South Carolina. And we're looking for big things out of him. We need big things out of DJ. We need him to step up and play to the best of his ability.
This week in practice, did you guys spend extra time in install knowing that there could be multiple different style quarterbacks?
Yeah, you spend time with all of them. I mean, that's for certain. Whether it's Luke's back there, the carry-on's back there, whoever it may be, hey, if those guys are back there, maybe there's a chance that they may pull the ball and maybe a little bit more quarterback run game. So you obviously spend some, extra time on that, extra emphasis on that, so to speak. A little bit of install for that as well. So we certainly did our homework on those two, and certainly ready for it. And to carry on, I'll say this again: he's not just a runner back there. He was a high school quarterback, and he throw the ball down the field. So we got to be heads up for that. We can't just, take 11 eyes and put them on him and think that he's going to run the football. He may throw it up. And last week he didn't hand the ball, but we're prepared for him to hand the ball off, especially number 20s back there as well. So. They create some problems, that's for sure.
Coach, at the end of practice there in the field goal session, it seemed like things kind of got spirited and loud. Can you speak to that?
Yeah, I think, every day we go out there to compete, and whether it's offense, defense, special teams, as coaches, we got to do a great job of making sure we leave the field with that mindset, hey, we're going to compete. And this is going to be a 4-quarter game on Saturday. We're getting ready to strap it on. We're getting ready to go play SEC school in Dowdy-Ficklen Stadium. And we getting ready to go at it. And if you got any other thoughts, any other mindset, then hey, somebody else needs to step up and take your spot, because that's where we're going, and that's how it needs to be. That's Coach Houston's mindset, and it filters throughout our program, and that's where it's going to be at.
With stopping the run, ideally you want to do everything perfect, but is it more important to be in the right spot or to make a tackle? I mean, which is
yeah, that's a good question. I mean, last week I thought the biggest fault in it is, and I'll pull the thumb here, is we got to do a better job triggering and not playing lateral. We got to get downhill and go get after it. Yeah, stay in your gaps, make sure your gaps sound, make sure fundamentals, make sure you don't have any just a man short, make sure we can gain an extra hat. Those type of things you love to be, but at the same time, you got to get off a play and make a block and make a tackle. I mean, no 1-for-1s we call it. Just because I'm getting blocked doesn't mean I can't go make a play. So we got to get off a block, go make a tackle. And get the guys on the ground. That's, like you said, that's the most important thing. If he's on the ground, then the good things are happening.
Coach, what's the biggest key to generating that pressure, this week? I felt like at the end of the game last Thursday, you guys were able to generate pressure and good things started happening.
Yeah, we had 9 tackles for a loss last week. And if you just look at the, the stats there, you had 9 tackles for loss. The offense was, we held them 3 out of 5 in the red zone. Means we got 3 stops. They had 2 touchdowns with 60%, which is kind of our goal. So doing some good things there, doing some positive things. I think we finally get off our heels a little bit. We kind of got some push up front, and that's the big thing. Anytime you can knock guys back up front, and play on their side of the ball, that's key. We start doing that at the end of the game a little bit as far as in the run game. And, at the end of the game, you knew they were trying to run the football, run the clock out, so it's a little bit easier to hone in. But that's really what we did up front, was knock guys back, start locking guys out, and then free some guys behind them and kind of run and play downhill. So that was a good job. At least from a teach standpoint, guys still playing hard at the end of the 4th quarter and getting off the ball, and also a teach standpoint of, hey, things done correctly that we can build on and take forward. So.
Last Thursday was the first time they've seen a crowd in 2 years. This coming weekend, first time you've seen Dowdy-Ficklen full. The players have talked about how much energy that gives them. How are you going to feed off that, and how excited are you about seeing Dowdy-Ficklen?
Super excited to see our fans in Dowdy-Ficklen Stadium. It's going to be my first time, and excited about the environment. Our players are super excited about the environment and the support we have from our Pirate Nation. They talk about what an awesome atmosphere has been in the past, and it's really going to be big for us beating South Carolina this weekend. Not only defensively and the energy, we're going to build upon that, but also, offensively for them, they've only been in the crowd At home, when they had the ball in their hands, their crowd was quiet. They didn't hear much noise. Now all of a sudden they're going to try to function with the crowd noise, and we got to make sure we feed up off that, and it could cause them some problems because they had a few false starts last weekend. Hopefully our crowd can pick it up and cause a few more right there. So we look forward to that, and just excited about the energy in Dowdy Fickle.
Anything else for Coach?